Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So let's begin our session with a wonderful quote. Social media is not a media. This is a list. This is to listen, engage, and build relationships. So for us starting a new chapter of learning, I Kishanti, being a host for today's event, I want to extend a very warm welcome all of you present here. I hope you are all doing amazing. As we know that social selling on LinkedIn is a process that uses LinkedIn to find prospects, start conversation, and build relationship with the lead. The goal is to create sales opportunities. The social selling can help boost brand awareness and visibility. Talking about SEMS family, we are a Section 8 non-profit company registered under the Companies Act 2013 with the various recognition from Niti Aayog, MSME, MPCON, DDU, GK1 and more. Recognized as a startup by DIPP, MCI and awarded Best Service Award for National Contribution. SEMS Group with an active network of 5,000 plus professionals, published books and an international journal, organized education and health camps for underprivileged students, promoted digital and financial literacy and contributed to society. Our initiative, DigiSamash, has developed content for 300 plus courses in IT, BFSI, retail, entrepreneurship, impacting diverse age groups. We have executed a skilling project for 600 inmates, signed MOU for training, collaborated with the various organizations at the conducted international conference. FEMLEAD, another SEMS initiatives, empowers women through workshops and newsletters, conducting awareness program in digital literacy, marketing, and career development across different industries. We have impacted over 1,000 women across states and recently celebrated a milestone of 100 women associated with the program. On behalf of the whole SEMS family, I welcome you all for today's international webinar on the topic of social selling on LinkedIn. And to add our guest of honor, today's speaker, Dr. Isaac, to you all. Now, let me introduce today's speaker, Isaac, to you all.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone who has tuned in. I am so excited to be here and talk to you about LinkedIn and social selling. I hope I'm audible to you all, and it's a great evening this side. I'm sure it's almost night that side in India. I myself, I am a student of law continuously, but then I'm also someone who is in love with social selling, LinkedIn. So I do a lot of coaching for individuals in companies in Uganda, in Kenya, some are from South Africa, India, and the United States. I also do ghostwriting for different companies and different law firms. Currently, we work with around 8 firms, including law firms, education institutions, and financial services. So the whole point is, where does all this begin? Where does it come from? How is it possible that someone who is like me, I'm able to attract maybe clients from the US, from Uganda, from Kenya, and so on and so forth? It starts with the topic that we shall be discussing today, which is social selling. How do you brand yourself to sell? Because you yourself, you are kind of like a market, you're like an asset. You're so valuable. So some people sometimes ask themselves this question like, I have this skill, but I don't know how to get hired, or I've been looking for a job for years, or I am a student, I even don't know what to do because I don't have experience, and companies want like 3 years experience, 4 years experience, 6 years experience, and so on and so forth. So how do I get to earn money? How do I relieve my parents of this burden? You might be a professional and you kind of want to switch a career or something, but you don't understand how to start, how to get started. And you're thinking, I think I am stuck. Maybe LinkedIn is used by people who are trying to get a job, and I have a job, but I'm not comfortable where I am. Like, I just feel like I need to have a switch, but I don't know how to do that. You might be a professional and you're thinking, what is it even entailing? Specifically, I'm talking about LinkedIn. See, today LinkedIn has around 1 billion plus people in so many businesses. I think when we look at the statistics, around 60% of those, 60 to 75% of those are decision makers somewhere, maybe in top executive positions, maybe in companies, and so on and so forth. So these are the people making the decisions. other people are freelancers trying to sell something. Others are students who are trying to look for like internships. They're trying to look for opportunities where to work, maybe placements and so on and so forth. But how do you get a good placement? How do you get a good job opportunity? How do you land your next opportunity? If you are an executive, how do you land your next partnership? How do you connect with companies and people that you want to connect to? That all falls under the aspect of social selling. So this is the kind of thing. I mean, I want to first find out from you, what are those things that you really expect, like what you want to hear from this session today, because I want to capture only that. This field is too wide, because I even don't know. I think among us here today, there could be some students, there could be some executives. So it will be very, very helpful to understand, kind of set the flow, because we have like 45 minutes, or I might be myself having like 30 minutes to talk to you all. So I want to find out which areas I want to focus on. So what is that about social selling that you don't understand, about LinkedIn, about branding on LinkedIn, that you feel like this should be the thing that you should, help us cover. So I will allow like three hands or three people to say something, and then I can proceed with that. So, all right, let me start with that very question. But I think before I even go into marketing, let me start again. So where does this journey begin? So I began with on LinkedIn like kind of like 5 years ago, and I've been using it mostly for my personal stuff. As a student, I used it to grab a lot of internships and then follow, because when I'm in India, I have to work with different firms and also have to work with advocates in the High Court, advocates in the Supreme Court, and so on and so forth. So most of the time, being an international student, you might find that there is no other way to get these people apart from using LinkedIn. But of course, before you okay, when you put in an application on LinkedIn, the very first thing that most of the people that you're going to apply to are going to do are going to check out your profile. They want to find out, which kind of person am I allowing in my office, So if your profile is looking, skimpy, and, information is just scattered here and there, they most likely will not be able to give you the opportunity. They will just be like, we don't have the offer right now. Maybe you can try some other time. Or they might give excuses. But when your profile is good and it's well organized and it shows exactly what you do, what you have been doing, and by saying it's active and organized, I mean, you have to make sure your profile has certain key aspects. Now, every profile that is successful on LinkedIn has certain things. First thing is that you should have a very clear profile photo, a very, very clear profile photo. It shouldn't be you in a t-shirt. It shouldn't be you in just a random blouse. You have to make sure that you are in, if you are a gentleman, you have to put on maybe formals. You don't necessarily have to have a tie, but you should make sure that at least your profile picture, because your profile picture is like your kind of icing on the cake, your centerpiece kind of a thing, the thing that everyone will see first. So you have to make sure it's professional, it's capturing your facial features properly. And of course, some people on LinkedIn will look very scary, like you're like a soldier or something. I mean, how do you even attract people when you're looking all moody, like you are taking a photo for the national ID or for your ID or something? You have to be welcoming. Your picture should be lively so that it can welcome the kind of people that you want. But again, it should look formal. If you're a lady, make sure you have very tidy hair, and probably you have to have clothes that cover your upper body, and then it should be half and clear, like your face should be very clear, neat. Don't just take a random photo with your phone or a random selfie and then post it. And then we come to the background page. That background page, sometimes we call it the cover page. So that cover page is a free space, which is like a billboard where you get to put your topmost information. If there is anything that you really want to highlight, that is the page for it. So if you're a law student interested in research, you use that page to make it known. If you're someone in marketing or you have a background in sciences, you use that page to make it known. If you're maybe a professor or an executive dealing in a particular thing, you use that page to highlight exactly what you do. That page should highlight what you do, who you do it for, and how they can contact you should they need you. So that means you have to put your number and your email. So that is a whole free space that people spoil. They'll randomly just put any picture. Sometimes someone will put a wild animal. behind or something, maybe a giraffe. Sometimes they were going to get a group photo and put a group photo. Well, a group photo is good. An animal is good if you're in tourism. I mean, you can put an animal if you're in tourism. If you're a zookeeper, you can also put an animal because that reflects partly what you do. But it misses the element of how you get to be contacted, because sometimes people take screenshots. Someone might love your profile and they want to take a screenshot. Now, when they take a screenshot, are they able to capture how they can contact you? Because it's very hard for us to keep searching these profiles. Sometimes I may just be scrolling through LinkedIn and then I land on a good article written by someone. Then I check their profile. When I check their profile, I may not see this person again ever. So what I will do, I'll take a screenshot of that person. So when they take a screenshot of your profile, do they capture your email? Do they capture your number? Because they might want you later. So that cover page or that background page, sometimes we call it the banner. It's very, very important. You have to use it for that very respect. Again, the next thing after that, you have to look at the heading. On the LinkedIn profile, there is what we call a heading. So we're already talking about social selling and the question of how do you sell? When we talk about selling on LinkedIn, we don't just sell products. I want to tell you something that I learned from one of my marketing coaches on LinkedIn. He told me that before people buy from you, they buy you. People have to buy you first. What do you do? What do you offer? You yourself, who are you? How do you brand yourself before they can buy your product that you're selling? They have to like you. They have to love what you do, fall in love with your work, how you write what you write, and then eventually they will like your product. If they don't like you, they will not buy from you. Even if it's the cheapest product on LinkedIn, they're not going to buy it. But if they like you and they love how you write and you have built kind of a network, a family, because LinkedIn, you see, you can be on LinkedIn and have 10,000 people following you, but all of them may not be able to buy. I know of people who have lots of, followers, but followers does not mean revenue. For you to convert these followers into buying clients, you have to be strategic. And those are some of those steps. We shall talk about them later. But first, we started with the profile and the outlook. I've already talked about the profile picture and how it should look formal. It should look very presentable. You should smile. Don't be, unless you work with the army and you're trying to look for opportunities around army, maybe security, then you can, look tough and all that. Otherwise, be friendly. A smile is welcoming and someone is like, And also look formal, look neat. Don't take a photo. I discourage you from taking a photo with your selfie. Get someone to be able to do your photo. And don't use any phone. Some phones really have very bad pixels. Get a clear phone. I think in India there is a lot of Vivos, and Vivo phones take some of the best photos. I think there is also Samsungs, they also try. And now most of the Indian people, almost everyone has an iPhone. So you can also borrow from your friend if you don't have. Don't just take a photo with your PC, with your watch, or simply because you want to fulfill the norm of everyone is on LinkedIn. I don't want to be left out. Now you just pick a random photo, like your grandmother was holding a torch by your face, and then you snapped a picture, and then you put that on LinkedIn. That's not really good. You're not professional at all. And definitely when you apply to these people, they're going to laugh at you. They're going to be like, this person is not serious. You're displaying a lot of unseriousness, and yet you want connections. How does someone see a photo of someone who is barely visible trying to sell a product, and how are they going to buy from you? They will see you as a crook. So you have to really think about what you want to get and then start with a presentation of your profile and yourself. I've talked about the background page, which is basically abused by most people. Most of the time, most people abuse the cover page. I've already emphasized that if your cover page doesn't have these three things, remove it. Remove it immediately after this call. Remove it. If you're not working in the zoo, don't put the animals on your cover page because it doesn't make sense. If you're not someone who organizes events, the photo that you have put there with your friends doesn't sell you at all. You have to, on LinkedIn, we don't just sell products, we sell ourselves. So the photos that you put at the back, if they are not reflecting what you do. So your cover page should have the following information. It should have what you do, specifically what you do, that I help people design websites, and which people, who do you do it for? You can say, I support CEOs with multiple tasks. and then it's like you are now a virtual assistant. So I say I support CEOs with burdensome tasks. So you specifically specify what you do and who you do it for, and then you put your email address and you put your phone number. Sometimes you have to specify what you do and the end result, because people want to get results. So what is the end result of what you do? Maybe I support CEOs with burdensome tasks so that they can focus with what is more important. Sometimes a lot of people might have a lot of information. You can even say you're a law student who supports, maybe who conducts research or who conducts legal research for busy lawyers, helping them cut on maybe filing time, or maybe helping them save back 4 hours or 10 hours, depends on how much you do. So you have to specify what you do, who you do it for, and what they gain if you're supporting them, and then how they can contact you. If you're a professional or an executive, you can say that you're maybe lead lead in so and so and so, or maybe head of partnerships. Don't put your company, specifically put the skill. What specific skill do you want to shine? Like specifically market your top skill. That's what you write there, and you do it with. Whether this applies to whether you're a student, whether you're a professional, whether you're what, you have to use that aspect, because people will come to your profile and they have only 8 seconds, 8 to 10 seconds. One glance like this, they should be able to know what you do without hustling and how they contact you. So finally, we come to the heading section. The heading section is where you see when people are searching and running profile searches, they are going to do, LinkedIn is going to, the algorithm is going to bring to them all the kind of profiles that fall within the category that they are trying to search. If your heading is not optimized, most likely you're going to miss out. Your profile won't be brought forth. So when you're writing a heading, you have to make sure that the heading is very optimized. You have to write what you do shortly, and then you have to write also specifically the keywords in your niche. Your niche is something very important. On LinkedIn, you have to choose a niche. People should know, if they are looking for a doctor, who should we go to? If they are looking for a copywriter, who should they go to? If you're a copywriter, a doctor, a what, you have to choose one thing specifically that is like your go-to. You become a go-to in that field, go-to person in that field. You don't, if you choose everything, it becomes very hard. LinkedIn works best for you as a marketer, as a freelancer, as an executive, if you choose to narrow down. In narrowing down, we call that niching. You need to choose a specific niche such that when people are looking for you, or you become a go-to person. It means that every time you're going to write your posts, every day or twice a week or 3 times a week, you will be writing about this particular thing that you chose to write about. You're not going to be writing about everything. Today, write about girl shoes. The other day, write about boots. The other day, write about trees. Then you're confused. People don't know you for anything. They just simply see you for. Don't market your company for now, because when you market your company first, it's like you don't have an identity and you're getting your identity from your company. You do market yourself. But by marketing yourself, I'm talking about marketing your skills, like showcase your skills, showcase the problems that you solve. When you show people that you're solving a problem, they are going to come and want to work with you. Because again, another key thing is finding who is my target audience. Of course, you cannot target everyone. Not everyone wants to buy from you. There has to be people who are your target audience. Are they CEOs? Are they middle managers? Are they founders? Are they freelancers? If you're a software company, definitely you may not be providing software services to everyone. If you're a law student, definitely you're not looking for support from everyone. You might be targeting. You have to target the kind of community that you want to target. So all these things that I'm talking to you about are the things that make what we call social selling. From setting up your profile to now coming down to how you write what you write. So let me show you an example of a profile that you need to learn from. Let me show you something. Let me see here. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So you see what I was telling you. You have, this is the background page. Now, this is some page that I helped one of my clients to work on. I was working on their profile. So this is what I worked on. And when I finished doing this, I did it like today. And the next day, she got extra 50 followers. Not just followers. She had come to me telling me that, Isaac, I'm struggling to get leads on LinkedIn. I am into CVs and also supporting people who are looking for jobs. I know my skill. I know I have even helped some people, but I'm struggling. I haven't got anyone on LinkedIn. And I looked at her profile and really her page was really bad. It was really wanting initially. If I could show it to you, if we had time, I would show you how it looked like and what kind of transformation we had thereafter. This became more clear because when someone now comes on her page, they won't just run away. They will see what exactly she does and who she does it for, and specifically how they can contact her. So you can see here what she does. I help you land your dream job or secure a promotion easily. And then she tells you which kind of people she does it for. Are you a professional seeking a juicy promotion or a fresh graduate with zero experience? And then how does she do it? I will revamp your CV or resume and coach you on how to pass common but challenging interview questions. Then she comes here and says, email to book. Then she puts her email, and then of course she has got a lot of ratings on her Google page, but none of that was reflected on her LinkedIn account. And then you see she writes a lot of weekly tips like I've encouraged her, but she was having a very low traction. So I did this and I also put this for her. So that's the kind of thing that I wanted to show you. It's the kind of thing that I wanted to show you. So we come to the next thing, which is writing. Now, when we're talking about writing, I'm going to show you something else. Let me share my screen again here. So when we are looking at LinkedIn, we have to sell properly, we have to have a content strategy. Whether you're selling your personal services, whether you're selling your skills, whether you're looking to hire someone, whether you're looking to stand out as a thought leader, you're selling something. You have to sell an idea to someone. So an idea to be effectively sold, you need to have a content strategy. Because on LinkedIn, you're not just going to post like you're posting on any other social media platform. You're not going to post like you're posting on Twitter, like you're going to post on Facebook. It's different. Without a strategy, you're going to fail. You're going to burn out. And again, one other key thing that I should tell you, don't do this simply because you want to stand out or you want to, you have to fall in love with the process. That's what, of course, loving it is fine, standing out is fine, but you have to fall in love with the process because sometimes it's going to be tiresome. And so many people have heard saying that I need to take a break, but there is no need to take a break if you have a proper system. You only need to take a break if your system is actually breaking you. If you're being broken by your system, you need to drop it and then adopt a system that won't break you. So when you have a proper strategy, you will find that you can be able to post throughout the year without even realizing that you did, and you will continuously give value. If you want to attract people, you have to write content that actually attracts people. If you want to sell, you have to write content that sells. So the strategy for content marketing, okay, content marketing starts with a strategy and copywriting. Under the strategy, we have formatting and content types. Now we start with the strategy where we go to formatting. So before I go into formatting, I want to tell you that LinkedIn formatting is very, very, very important because poor formatting will, even if your content is good, people will not read it. You write content in the first place so that people can be able to read it and then act according to the advice that you're giving. If you're selling a product, you're writing so that afterwards they may be able to buy. Your content must do these three things, note them down. Your content must be able to generate for you leads, nurture for you leads, and convert for you leads. I will repeat, your content must be able to do these three things. If you want to sell, if you want to dominate LinkedIn, if you want to hire people, if you want to be able to get into partnerships, if you want to, showcase what you're doing, your skills, if you want to attract internships, and your content your content, whatever you post on LinkedIn, should be able to do any of these three things. One, it should be able to generate for you leads. Generating leads means attracting people. When people read your post, do they want to follow you and stick around and read more later and follow you and say, this is a very wonderful person, this is a resourceful person, I want to follow them, I want to be able to read from them in the future? Your content should be able to do that. Next, your content should be able to nurture. Nurturing means people will constantly come whenever you post, such that they keep growing, they keep learning. If you're into sales, everything that you post should be in funnel. We have the top funnel, the middle funnel, and the bottom funnel. You cannot come from nowhere on LinkedIn, even if you're a sales expert, and you start with the bottom funnel, because then people are going to resist you. No one is there waiting for you to sell to them. No one is waiting for you to sell to them. But people will buy if and when they see that you're solving their immediate problem. If you make your service in such a manner that it is able to solve a problem which is existential. I have a problem right now and I need someone to help me solve it. And I think I found a guy. Now, before people can say this, they have read your content over and over and over again. Sometimes this nurturing can take 1 year, sometimes it can take 3 months, sometimes it can take 3 months, and other times it can take 2 years. Content should be able to nurture such that you will start getting messages like, hey Kumar, hey Rajesh, hey Patel, hey, anyone, hey Isaac, I have been reading your content on this and this and this for now 2 years. I think I need a website. Let's say I'm a web developer. Let's say I'm a search engine expert, SEO, Let's say I am a marketer. You don't just get information, copy it and paste it onto LinkedIn, because mostly people don't like reading blog texts. If your formatting is bad, no one is going to read it. The aim of your content on LinkedIn is to help people read it, understand what you're trying to share. Even if you're a professor, whether you are a CEO, you need people to hear you. You need people to know what you're saying. But again, the key thing is that people have 8 seconds. How can you capture people's attention in 8 seconds? How do people get to read your content in 8 seconds? So your formatting would help you from here. So let me share with you an example of what I mean by content formatting, and then we shall go to content types. So I don't know if you're able to see my screen on at this point here. Are you able to see this part here where my cursor is?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I have post one here and then I have post two. When you look at post one, it basically, let me hide this. When you look at post one, it is the same as post two, and you can see very well what it says that here, of course, I'm giving an example of formatting and what formatting does. So post one and post two. Look at both posts. Just look at both posts for a second. You see? So now, having looked at post one and two properly, they all have exactly the same message. Which post do you think you will easily read? And which post do you think will give you a hard time? You can write in the comments, You can write in the comments. But if I am not mistaken, I believe most of you have chosen post two, Post two is a post that you can easily read. It is the same as post one exactly. Now, you see post one here? This is how most professionals write. This is how most professors write, most CEOs, most founders, even some newbies on LinkedIn write like this. If you write this kind of block text, no one is going to read your information, my friend. Whether no one even needs to know which name you are. You might be a president and you write like this, or they write for you, or whatever the case might be. But people are not going to read this. You know what they are going to do? They are just going to like. They will like and they will clap and they will celebrate, but they have not read. Now, what if you are trying to communicate something? You need to use this kind of formatting. Content formatting is very important because people have a problem with reading. You need to skip for them. The human mind psychologically wants to skip. We skim. We don't have time to read. You need to skip for us. So I would rather recommend that you write one line paragraphs. You write paragraphs of one line, make them short, make a line which at most has 10 words. Your paragraph at most should have 10 words. So normally we have a rule in content formatting, which we call the rule of 1, 2, and sorry, 1 3 and 1, 1 3 and 1. The rule of 1 3 and 1 is you write one line and then you can follow it with three lines. One line and you follow it with three lines and then one line. This is a rule of 1 3 and 1. You can use at some point two lines. You can use one line. So this is one paragraph. This is another 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 paragraph. So you have to make sure that at each point, whenever someone, if someone reads this line and they want to skim, they already find a blank space. So they will skip to only come to this. They want to skip here, they will come to this. They want to skip here, they will come to this. Make your sentences short, make them in F format. You can write in descending order or ascending order. You need to make your content visually appealing. If you don't have time to write on LinkedIn, then don't write at all. Don't write. I don't care who you are. You might be a professor, you might be a doctor, but if you're not communicating properly, no one is going to read your messages. No one is going to read. You're supposed to communicate so that people understand. You're not just writing according to your comfort. Unfortunately, social media rules don't follow even the writing and grammatical rules. Sometimes we have to follow only the lazy being rules. Human beings are lazy people. You have only 10 seconds or 8 seconds to capture people's attention. People skim, they read when they are skimming. Don't write too long posts. If you want to write a long post, write a blog. LinkedIn has newsletters. You can always compile a newsletter, but make sure your posts they are 700 words or 700 characters. This post here that you see here is the same as this one. It has complete message, a complete message, but it is short. And it also has engagement. Let me take you back this side a little bit. It also has engagement. If you look down here, it has a pin and it also has simplicity. I don't know why this thing doesn't go away. Oh boy. I wanted to remove that line because it keeps obstructing me, the one down. But anyway, so what am I trying to say? I'm emphasizing readability, lesson, application, and then skip. Readability, lesson, application, and then skip. When you look at my post properly, it has all these elements here. The post 2 has all these elements here. It is readable, number 1. You can say skipped, but post 1 is not readable. It has a lesson. Both posts have lessons, but in post 1, you cannot see the lesson easily, but in post 2, you can see the lesson. Let me read for you post 2, and you see. Mondays can break you if you don't prepare well. 3 years ago, I would go to office and experience fatigue. It seemed as though a lot was always on my desk and tasks from last week peeped at me. I remember losing at least 3 hours every Monday trying to fix myself. Here is what I do now. Complete my tasks before leaving on Friday. I party only on Saturday to avoid hangover. I use Sunday night to plan. Happy New Week. It is readable. It has lessons because this person is reminiscing on how it used to be hard for them 3 years ago. It seemed as though all these hardships that they were facing. As you write this kind of a thing, you're writing a post that people can easily resonate with. If you were dean, you need to write so that other fellow deans could resonate, so that other professors could resonate. These are the shared experiences that we share on LinkedIn that make us thought leaders. If you were a marketer, you need to write as a marketer such that other marketers or the kind of people that you're trying to attract can resonate. Are you able to enter into a problem and dissect it and then also share a solution? If your post does not share a solution, does not share a backstory, does not share a problem, then you're wasting time. You need to write to inform. There are several types of posts and content. We can talk about those later. We can write one, for instance, let me even go into them right now. You can write content on to inform information, specifically information, updating people on what are the new things in your niche, information. Just another type of post can be a post to sell, where you're saying that we have a new product on the market and this is what it is, this is how it functions, these are the people it helps, and so on and so forth. Another kind of content type that you can have is the content that nurtures and gets people to see you for who you are, that is kind of vulnerable. you're vulnerable a bit because people buy people. You need to be vulnerable a bit. What are some of those challenges that you used to face, maybe as a young man, as a young woman? You don't be like a machine on LinkedIn. You need to act like there is a real person behind it. Every human struggles. People want to buy into your story. They have to buy into your struggles so that they know they are relating with a real human behind, because there are so many people behind those followings that you see. They want to learn from you. If you're a professor, how did you get there? If you're a job seeker, what has been your struggle? If you are a person hiring, not every day you should be posting about hiring. Sometimes write about what are some of the how have you won, what milestones have you achieved, and how have you achieved these milestones. That way, you will be building a community of people who trust you, who love you for who you are. And when you get to come to sell a product, they will fall in love already with you because they feel they have this kind of closeness, that they love you, that they trust you, that now they feel like they know you even without meeting you. So this is the acronym we use to write beautiful content. This is my last one. You use SLAY: story, lesson, actionable, and then you. In your writing, whether you're hiring, whether you're what, always start with a short story. If you're hiring for your company, what is the story of your company? Can you shine a story on your company? If you're selling a product from your company, what is the story behind this product? What is the inspiration? Are you trying to make a porridge for babies? Are you trying to make a shoe for the ladies? What is the backstory for that shoe? What are you trying to solve? So that these young ladies who are trying to buy this shoe, they feel like, yes, this is the thing. They buy the emotion. People are emotional beings. You have to infuse some kind of emotion in your sales, whether you're selling yourself or you're selling a product. And then what lesson? The lessons can come out best. You can see in post 2, I have put a story where I start by saying 3 years ago, this is what used to happen. 3 years ago, I would go to office and experience fatigue. What is the lesson? I remember, a lot, it seemed as though a lot was always on my desk and tasks from last week peeped at me. I remember losing 3 hours every Monday trying to fix myself. That's a lesson. It was a hard one, but you remember. Now, what are the actionable advice? You're saying, here is what I do now. I complete my tasks before leaving on Friday. Then I party on Saturdays, because I don't want to come on Monday when I'm disorganized. And then I use Sundays to plan. Those are actionable tips that someone who is reading is going to say, wow, wow. I am struggling with what this person is saying. In fact, in this man's story, in this lady's story, I am that person. But now, this actionable tip, I'm taking it and I'm applying it right away. And then you is the PS. What is that one last thing that you want to leave your reader with? You see my PS there? It's saying, remember, simplicity and clarity. This should be the habit. It is at the very bottom. That is the PS. You give them a good story. People love context. You give them a good lesson. You give them actionable advice. And now you've given them even a takeaway. Now, that is social selling. You sell to emotional people, you have to infuse some kind of emotion. You can write a good copy. Sales copy has some kind of emotion. Let me end by this. There was a man who was selling a company that was trying to sell some bottles of wine. So this company, what it did, it got someone, and this is how they were marketing it. It was supposed to be Father's Day. So they got an idea of an ad. And this is exactly what they did. They got a son who wrote a letter to the father. The son was going to give a father this wine, this bottle of wine. And this was the letter. I will just paraphrase. I don't remember exactly the words, but they said, to my father, the days when you rode with me that tire, the days when you stayed awake for me and did XYZ, the days when I cried for no reason and you still came and loved on me, the days when we would all be mad at you, the whole family, my mother, and all that, and you still stayed. The days you would go and come back with a lot of problems, seated in your chair, and you can't even talk about them, but still have the courage to smile. There is no one that deserves this bottle of wine than you, my father. And I'm happy that I'm gifting you this special bottle. to you only, no one else, only you, my dad. I love you, your son. Then he signed. That company registered so many sales of that product because so many sons could resonate with this emotional letter. And they thought, my father needs this because this bottle can only be taken by my father. You know, every company, think of Apple, think of what? Whenever they are selling, they connect a backstory. You cannot sell a product by simply selling a product. You have to sell an emotion. If you're not selling an emotion, sell a problem. How does your product solve this problem? Focus on solving a problem in your writing on LinkedIn. Now, someone could be saying, Isaac, that could be too long. No, you need to write short things, be specific. Here, when I was telling my story here of Mondays, I made it so short. You have to write in summary. Don't give a lot of fluff, don't give a lot of context. Just be specific. 3 years ago, I would go to office and experience fatigue. That is one line, but it has a lot of unsaid things. Fatigue covers a lot of things. Write short things, short lines, 700 words, and you can put an image as well or a video. You can post also one other thing. Post on at the same time. Choose to post at the same time and don't post and ghost. Most big people, when you post, you run away. You make sure that whenever your post goes live, you are available to be able to engage. Engagement is very important. You need to engage in the comment section. You need to engage with other creators and other people in your niche. Comment and comment value. There are so many people who have come to me and they have said, Isaac, I found you on this person's profile. I love what you do. I love what you write. I want to connect with you. I want to learn from you. Some of those have even become my clients. So how you connect in the comments, I've got so many clients from the comment section. I have got people who have hired me from the comment section. I have had people who have recommended me from the comment section. So engage. Don't take LinkedIn lightly because it can blow your mind if you do it intentionally. And again, Isaac, I don't have time for LinkedIn. You can hire a ghostwriter if you're too busy. Isaac, I don't have money for a ghostwriter. You can actually schedule your posts. Prepare all that you have to say, you want to say on the weekend, and then use the scheduling tool for LinkedIn on your PC, and then schedule your posts for a week, and then make sure that you schedule them to go live at that time when you'll be free to engage. If you're free at 8 p.m., make sure that you're free at that time, and then when your post goes live, go online and engage with your audience. Add a few comments below your post. Start the conversation on your very own post, and then also engage on people in your niche. Talk to them, find out what they are writing. I have stolen so many clients from other people in my niche because I go there and add a lot of value to their post. That is how you sell. Also, DM people. Send a hi, be friendly. Don't DM people to sell. Don't go on the first day you DM people, you go there to immediately sell. Hey, I am having a computer service here. If you need help, please call me. No, 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 no. Ensure that your focus is on building lasting connections. Eventually, the person will, when you hit the DM, say hi, talk to them, make it friendly. Don't sell anything. Don't sell anything. Just build connection, and then eventually keep commenting and engaging on their content as you start to analyze what they may be wanting. And specifically, this has to be your ICP. ICP is your it can be ICP or your target audience. Ideal profile client, IPC. Ideal client profile, ICP. You can look out for your ideal client profile on LinkedIn, or you can find your target audience. Just run a search and then create a list and engage on their content. Write beautiful content, comments based on context. And if they are asking and they need a solution, help them solve a problem. Whenever you solve a problem for a client, they are willing to work with you. If you want to sell a product, no one will buy from you. If you want to solve a problem, everyone wants to buy from you. So that's it for today. Now I hand back this session to you, our host for that day.
Wow, what a wonderful knowledge given by you, sir. I hope our audience learned many new things from this session. I would like to highlight some of the points like profile building, marketing ourselves, generating leads, communicate properly and understandably, sell emotionally. It was very effective for our audience, sir. Again, thank you for joining us and sharing your experience. your precious time and knowledge with us, sir. Sir, there are few questions which our audience wants to be answered. So, with your permission, shall we?
Yes, yes. Let's go on. Let's go on.
What are the most common mistakes that people make when trying to sell on LinkedIn, and how can we avoid them?
Yes, the things that I've been talking about, when you want to sell on LinkedIn, you don't focus on selling. You don't focus on selling because when you focus on selling, no one is going to buy from you. No one is going to buy. Most people, when they come on LinkedIn, they immediately think this is a selling platform, so I should sell. They come to market their product. They even run to the pages of they run to profiles of people, and they immediately start DMing them and telling them, you know what, I deal in this product XYZ. I have seen so many people from India who come to my DM and they want me to buy some kind of IT solution or something, but I don't buy because I even don't know you. Not even India alone, but even in Kenya, even in Uganda, I don't buy a product when someone doesn't know me. I don't follow them. Maybe they follow me or I don't. You can't follow me for the first time. You connect with me, and when you connect with me, you immediately come to my DM to pitch. That is very bad because selling works with connection. That's why we named this session today social selling. You have to first, people buy from you. Sorry, people buy you first before they can buy from you. That's something that you need to take away from me tonight. People buy you before they buy from you. You need to market yourself first. Emotionally, tell your stories. You have struggled enough in your profession, in your career. Don't tell your childhood stories if you don't want to. Don't tell your family stories, but first build connection. Let people know you. But most people, they focus on just sharing that. I am happy to share that I've got a new certificate. I am happy to share that I have. Those kind of posts don't help you. They don't help you at all. So you need to make sure that you make posts that are going to help you become a thought leader. If you're a business person, make a post that highlights your achievements. Not all the time though, but every now and then as a business person, you're dealing with problems. So showcase how you're constantly solving these problems in your post in 700 words and then go away. If it's a problem if you're someone who deals with an HR, and you're dealing with hiring, what are some of the problems? If we were to sit down and I ask you what are some of the problems that HR has faced today, you will have a list that you can't exhaust. But somehow, as an HR, you deal with these problems every day. Can you share something? All you need to write is one problem, one solution in one post. You don't put so many ideas in a one post. You're making a mistake. You're going, okay, what will you write tomorrow? Don't put many ideas in one post. And people don't even have time. You're not giving a lecture. If you want to write many things, your research, your what, use LinkedIn newsletters. The newsletters are there. Go there and present your research on something and expound it in the newsletter. But most people don't even use the newsletter. They want to use the LinkedIn post. You see how small a tweet an X can be? You can even make it small like that, your LinkedIn post, and put a beautiful photo. Don't just take any random photos. Take a photo that is in context. Now you're writing about how you got a promotion and you're putting your photo in the farm, yet you're talking about office promotion. If it's related, make sure that your photos are connected, your videos are connected, and make sure you juggle content. Somewhere, use content. Most people just post only photos, and selfies. But you need to vary your content. Sometimes write some few words with a nice photo. Sometimes make some few words with a video. Sometimes make a LinkedIn carousel, because LinkedIn carousels are good. Those decks, they are good because they do retention. If you're presenting a new product, start with a story, put it in a carousel form. Start with a short story. How did your company come about this? What is it trying to solve? What is the status quo? What is the problem like? Can you quantify it? Now, what are you expecting to achieve by having this new product? Who does it help? How does it help them? Don't focus on the price yet. First, focus on showing. That's what HP does. If you've watched the new HP advert, that's what HP is doing. That's what Apple is doing. That's what you should be doing, whether you're selling a product, whether you're selling your service, So another mistake, and the final one that I'm going to give, is that most people ignore their updating their profile section. Your profile, overall profile, needs to be continuously updated. When you switch a job, update. You might find someone is no longer working with Hindustan Coca-Cola, but they still feature working with the Hindustan Coca-Cola present. But they have moved on. That shows that you're not organized and now you're looking for an opportunity. You don't pay attention to detail and you're applying for a job that requires someone who doesn't pay attention, who pays attention to detail. When they look at your profile, your profile is one key area that people are going to base on to make a hiring decision. One other thing, when you're applying for jobs, don't do those apply with LinkedIn profile things. Avoid them as much as you can. If you want to use that, continuously update your CV and upload it manually on LinkedIn. Don't just apply, click apply, because you're going to create a bad impression. Upload your CV on LinkedIn, manual upload. And finally, people don't want to engage. You think you will just post and go away. When you post and go away, no one is going to engage. People do what we call reciprocal. You want to attract people on your profile, go to other people's profiles, engage, build connections, go to the DMs, say hello for no reason. Just be nice. Be kind, be friendly. Don't just engage on big creators, even on small creators' profile. Whether if you're a professor, cut your pride. Go to even students, your students. Connect with your students also, because that creates more traction for you. More people will now realize that so and so professors, they want to follow you. You will get more students following you, and who knows what if you started an online course for yourself? Not a university, not in connection with a university. Maybe you're starting a tutorship. These very students will become your very first clients. But where did you get them? By strategically engaging. So always focus on who is my target audience and engage strategically.
Thank you for
So,
answering this
sir,
question.
can you show your own profile of LinkedIn?
Okay, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Okay. Link. Just give me a minute. I go there. Okay. Share. Okay. All right. So here, this is now my profile. So I have this promotional thing that I'm doing right now, and it's expiring on 1st of April. I am doing full profile revamp. So like this is proper utilization of a banner that I was talking about. Another thing I had failed to hint on is you have to choose profile colors. What is your brand color? See, for me, I started utilizing my LinkedIn actively, and for my sales and for my business, because I run two businesses now on LinkedIn. But I started doing that last year in September. All along, I was busy making mistakes. I was busy just sharing random things, my certificates, and so on and so forth. I was always wondering, why don't I sell? How come I don't get clients? I am seeing so many people getting clients and I don't know. But then I have also seen people with 10K who don't get clients. So do you know what happened? At that time when I started getting serious with my LinkedIn, I had 500 followers. But since then, I have been writing content every day and writing not for followers. On LinkedIn, you can get two things. You can get followers or you can make sales. There are so many people who collect a community of window shoppers, because when you just write as a comedian, all you will ever get is people just following you because it's funny. But when it comes to you writing a content post that is going to give you $100 sales, maybe for each product, because now my list service that I charge $99. But I have clients from Kenya, from India, from Uganda, from US that pay for this. And I don't even have 10K. I don't even have 2K followers. But there are so many. In some of those clients, I have people with 5K, with 6K, with 7K coming to me to help them on how to build communities and monetize them and sell, because they made mistakes when they were starting. They were focusing on writing content that excites, that welcomes window shoppers. Sometimes people will follow you because you're a professor, because you're a CEO, because you're what. But these many people that are following you are job seekers. They are not your fellow CEOs. They are not the kind of people that you want to attract. So now, how do you write content that attracts the kind of partners that you want to attract, that attracts the kind of class that you want to attract? You may have very few followers, but your content can get money on that table. So you have to choose between having so many followers. For me, I'm okay with few followers because they buy, but you can have 10K, you can have 3K, you can have 20K, but do they buy? That is a question. So that's it. So that's my profile, how it looks like. You can see my banner, the very things I've talked about. I do these banners for people. I do banner and optimization. I do customized content. I do LinkedIn sales psychology, like what we are doing now. This is social selling and sales psychology. I have a class that is starting on 30th of March. It's like a community, a paid community for people who want to go big on LinkedIn sales. I also do company trainings for people who are having companies and maybe you want to train your team. Your team can actually, your sales team can be able to sell your goods on LinkedIn if they understand how to do it. And that's what I teach other companies also how to do it. So this is how my profile looks like. And you can see very well, this is the featured section, a very important section. You have to list not just photos, not just posts, but these are links that when people click them, all these links take you to my website. All these, but specifically, I'm highlighting what I do because I do web design. I also do startup guidance for people who want to start up businesses in Uganda, in Africa, in Rwanda. Then, of course, my experience section, you can see it. It's big. You can take time. You can take time and go on over your time in your free time.
Thank you, sir. That was a very good piece of advice, sir. Again, thank you all for attending today's webinar. And if you have any additional questions, you can contact us by email or telephone. We are happy to provide additional support to you. Please follow on our social media and subscribe YouTube channel for new learning.